is the Louie T Network.
And then my team went 6-10, and we ain't smell the playoffs. Then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to another edition of the 2017 NFL Divisional round of the playoffs. We're breaking it all down here, and I've had a couple of glasses of wine. I'm not going to lie to you tonight, man. I needed it for this game. This game was frustrating in so many different ways. Again, I don't have any rooting interest, don't have a dog in the fight. I just wanted to see compelling football. And there were so many opportunities for this game to come down to the final possession, and the Texans simply couldn't get it done. And whether you want to blame Brock Osweiler or you want to blame Will Fuller for dropping a touchdown, it doesn't matter. They're not good enough. We knew that going into the game. Okay, the surprise of the night was the score at halftime. And we talked about that at halftime, that this was a surprising halftime score, 17-13, and that we didn't expect that to keep up in the second half. I was close. I told you 30-16 was my final score. We got 34-16. I told you the Texans weren't going to score many more points in this game. All I could see them scoring and mustering was another 3. That's what they did. So the outcome of this game, not surprising. How we got there, very surprising. Now, look, a win's a win in the National Football League. I tell you this all the time. However, this wasn't impressive. They should have destroyed these guys. And the fact of the matter is, the Texans defensively, they're so good. They deserve better. This defense deserves better. They harassed Brady all night, forced him into some mistakes, really made him uncomfortable. Go look at Brady's numbers. They're not cute. There's nothing sexy about his numbers tonight. But what they did do was they made sure that when they got opportunities, they took advantage. And you could say right before the half, goal line stand by the Texans defense. Okay, cool. But when they got opportunities, they took advantage in this game. And that's what the good teams do. Brock Osweiler makes a mistake. We make him pay for that mistake. That's a pick. And we're going to take that turnover and we're going to turn it into 7. And that was the story of the night for the Patriots. They made mistakes. And let me just say this, and then we're going to jump into all of the particulars after we set the table. We're going to eat. This is why it is important to get the number 1 seed. It doesn't matter what conference you're in. You want to know how the Patriots have made it to now 6 straight AFC championships, which is just asinine when you think about it. Just take a second. I want you to take a second. Just stop talking for a second. And just think about this for a second. What I'm about to say to you. Listen to this. 6 straight AFC championship games. 6. 6. 6. No, I don't worship the devil. But 6 AFC championship games in a row. What? What? If that doesn't tell you the state of the AFC, if that doesn't tell you how dominant this Patriots team has been, if that doesn't tell you the importance of getting your hands on one of the top 2 seeds, I don't know what else does. I mean, just think about this for a second. How many times have the Patriots, over this stretch that I just referred to of 6 straight AFC championship games, how many times have they been ranked lower than the 2 seed? So that means they had to play in wild card weekend. When is the last time you remember the Patriots playing a game in a wild card weekend? They don't. They always get a bye because they're always winning their damn division. 8 of those in a row. Hell, they're the Atlanta Braves of the 1990s, winning the damn division every year. Just pencil in the New England Patriots as the division winners in the AFC East because nobody else in that division is good enough to even challenge them in that division. So they win a division every year, and because they're so dominant in their division, all they have to do is take out the other teams that they play that are non-divisional opponents. So when you win the division every year, you're going to play, probably the Steelers or the Bengals as a division winner. You're going to play the Denver Broncos or the Chiefs, whoever wins that division. Then you're going to probably play whoever wins the other division in the AFC, probably the Colts. If not the Colts, then the Texans, and you're going to beat them too. And then you're going to play some sorry-ass division that you're going to probably win 3 out of 4, if not all 4 of those games. And you look up and you say, wow, Patriots are 14-2. Patriots are 13-3. Patriots are 12-4. And all of a sudden, they're the 2 seed or they're the 1 seed. And voila, they find themselves in the AFC Championship. Just, I want you to think about the difference between a 1 seed and a 2 seed. Had the Patriots played anybody other than the Houston Texans in the AFC side of the bracket with the way that they played tonight, are they advancing to the AFC Championship game? If they played Kansas City tonight, would they have beaten the Chiefs with the effort that they put forth tonight? If they were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, would they have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers and moved on to the AFC Championship game with the effort that they put forth tonight? I can answer that question for you. Hell no. Hell no is the answer. But when you're the 1 seed, you get the Houston Texans and you get to move on to the AFC Championship game. Whether you play your best or not, you get to move on. And that's where getting the 1 seed is of the utmost importance. You afford yourself the opportunity to potentially get a layup so that even if you don't come with your A game, you come with your B-, C+ game, you can still advance. That's what they did tonight. It was good enough tonight, but I'm going to tell you right now, this shit they put forth today, not going to be good enough next week. It doesn't matter if that's Kansas City or Pittsburgh. This won't be good enough. Brady flustered, missing throws, throwing interceptions, fumbling kickoffs. This isn't good enough. I'm going to tell you right now. They play like this next week, and I don't expect them to. Let me just say, I don't expect them to. Okay? They knew that they were playing the Texans, and they could get away with some nonsense. Okay? But I just want this to be known. Come out like this next week, and your ass won't be going to the Super Bowl. I can guarantee you that. Whether it's Kansas City or Pittsburgh, and I think it's going to be Pittsburgh, but whatever the case may be, you play like this next week, you will not be heading to Houston for Super Bowl 51. I can assure you of that. But with that being said, Patriots dominated this game in the second half. And we're going to talk about what they did and some of the highlights of this game, some of the lowlights, and then we're going to talk about what it's going to take for them to get to the Super Bowl again and potentially just continue this unprecedented run that the B&B winning factory is on right now, and where they're just always either in the AFC Championship or in the Super Bowl. And so we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about the Texans and the disaster that lies ahead of them in this offseason. Still a lot of questions, not enough answers for them, but in any event, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting the subscribe button on YouTube to the Louie T Network to become a member of the Louie T Network family. Also, I'm on Twitter at In The Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and follow me there. I'm also on Facebook. In The Lab Room is the Facebook page. Like that page. All of my social media platforms right there scrolling in the top corner of the screen so you can't miss it. Let's jump into this breakdown. We're going to start with the Patriots in this game. Like I said, sloppy performance by the Patriots. Not the standards that we're used to seeing them set. They didn't run the football effectively in this game. They didn't throw it well either. I mean, Brady threw up a couple of prayers and they were answered, but I'll tell you what, you look at his numbers, 18 of 38, I believe he was. I mean, the Texans got after him. He was not comfortable. He threw 2 interceptions in this game. Like I said, he threw a couple of rainbow shots that were caught by his guys. If the Texans were able to look back and locate football, those could easily have been picked off, if not at least incomplete. But in any event, this was not a clean performance by Tom Brady, nor that offensive line for that matter. He was under duress the entire night. The run game was really a non-factor in this game. I really feel like the offense of the Patriots was not sharp. But again, the Texans are a really good defense, and I don't want to understate that. And they came into this game number one in a bunch of categories for a good reason. Throughout the regular season, this is a really good Texans defense, and they showed you exactly why. And if there's one good takeaway from this game for the Texans, is that, man, that defense is going to continue to be good. And just think about what they could be with Watt and Clowney and Merciless all up front in that front seven. That is a dangerous thought if you are a team in the AFC South Division or just a team in general having to play the Texans, knowing that you're going to have to block all three of those guys on any given play, that's scary. But make no mistake about it, the Patriots struggled offensively in this game, which gave the Texans a shot. And me and my dad were sitting there watching the game, and we're talking, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to win this game because they don't have enough firepower offensively. But I said, look, they need mistakes by the Patriots. They need turnovers just to hang in. And they got them, which is crazy because they talked about this during the telecast. The Falcons and the Patriots were tied for the fewest turnovers this season with 11. The Patriots don't turn. Brady had like 2 interceptions this entire season. He's like 27/2 or something crazy like that. Like, Brady was not turning the football over. This Patriots team, for that matter, was not turning it over. That's why when we watched them on that Monday night versus the Ravens and they had all those turnovers that allowed the Ravens back in the game, we were so damn surprised because they don't turn it over very often. And here's another game similar to that Ravens game where they had 3 turnovers and that allowed Houston to stay in this game. And it's just uncharacteristic of the Patriots. It's not what I'm accustomed to seeing. And frankly, I don't expect to see this moving forward. But for one night, they were vulnerable. And luckily enough for them, the opponent wasn't able to take full advantage of all these opportunities that were laid in their lap. Defensively, I thought they did some good things, but they're still a defense that's in progress. The Texans had opportunities in this game. Brock Osweiler is horrible. And, you know, I hate to say that because it's year one of him in that Texans offense, but he frustrates me because I know he can play better. And the decisions that he makes, they're questionable at best. But then he throws a deep ball to Will Fuller that is just a thing of beauty, and he drops it. And if you're looking for a confidence boost for your quarterback that's struggling, there it is. He throws a dime, and the receiver drops it for a touchdown that would have got it to within 4 at 24-20, give you a shot in this game. And that's when you know it's not your night, when something like that occurs. But other than that, let down there, the Patriots defense was lights out in this game for the most part. You know, aside from the foolish penalty early by Rowe that allowed them to get a field goal, and then the turnovers that set up short fields for the Texans, this defense went out and got it done in this game. This Patriots defense picked off Brock Osweiler 3 times. You know, created some short fields for Brady and company because they were struggling on the offense. Let's face it, the Brady bunch was failing on the offensive side of the football. They were struggling. And so they needed to pick me up, and the defense picked them up. And credit to Matt Patricia and his crew for getting those boys to make some plays against a bad Texans offense. And the key coming into the game had to be, hey, look, let's stop Lamar Miller and make Brock Osweiler beat us. They did that. Okay, mission accomplished. And they forced him to try to beat him, and he threw 3 interceptions. So they got the job done defensively. I was impressed with the defense in this game. And that's what it's going to take for them to advance. If they're going to beat Kansas City, if they're going to beat Pittsburgh, they're going to have to play some solid defense like they did tonight. Maybe create a turnover or 2 and set up some short fields. It's tough in this league to go 80, 85, 75, 77 yards all the goddamn time. You need some short fields, and the defense did that tonight. Created some short fields and allowed the offense to get in the end zone when they were struggling. And then it's always great when you can get a contribution from special teams. Speaking of which, Dion Lewis had a night for the ages, a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a kickoff return for a touchdown. 3 touchdowns on the night for a guy that missed over a half of the season with an injury, some major knee surgery, like his 3rd major knee surgery of his career. It's good. It's a feel-good story to see a guy like him come back, have an impact like he did tonight, and make the types of plays that he did and give the Patriots a chance to win. And so I thought he was huge. Edelman was outstanding in this game, well over 100 yards receiving. He was the go-to man for Brady. It's what you expect from Julian Edelman, though. Like I said, this offense isn't what it is without Julian Edelman. I've said that time and time again. That's why I was so upset when they tried to lowball him on the offer that they gave him. When they said, hey, man, go out on the free agency market and see what you get and then come back to us. Don't do that. Just give the man what he deserves, because he's a huge part of what you do offensively, and without him, you're in trouble. And you saw that again tonight. Offensively, he was the guy that Brady trusts to go to when they needed a catch. When he needed to get rid of the football, it was normally to number 11, and he delivered time and time again tonight. You go to the Texans side of things, like I said, the defense, they did all they could do. They gave you opportunities. They picked Brady off twice. Special teams forced a turnover that led to a touchdown. You get all these opportunities, you got to take advantage. And they just simply didn't. They had some great field position at points in this game, and they just failed to take advantage of it. And it's just not a good enough Texans offense because of the quarterback position. And that's a shame because, like I said, this defense, championship defense. They're like, even without J.J. Watt, I told you I love me some A.J. Boye. You saw him balling again tonight. Even without J.J. Watt, this is a championship caliber defense. You give them any semblance of an offense, and this is a dangerous team. They would have had a great opportunity with a solid quarterback to go into Foxborough and win with all the mistakes that the Patriots made in this game. But they just don't have that. Brock Osweiler doesn't provide that for them. They're not in a position to take advantage of some opportunities that were presented to them. They're not in a position to have to drive 75 yards and get it done. And most of all, they're not in a position to not make mistakes. And Brock Osweiler with the 3 interceptions, you can't win like that. You can't. Will Fuller with the drop for a touchdown, you can't live like, you're not good enough offensively to waste opportunities, to say, oh, we'll get them next time. No, there's no next time for this offense. And they just didn't get it done. This defense, I feel bad for them. I really do, because they went out and they balled. Like I said, the Patriots don't turn it over. The defense created turnovers. They made Brady look pedestrian. They made Brady look his age tonight. Tom Brady looked his age. He was flustered. He was scared at times. They forced him to make some errant throws. You're not used to seeing Brady miss on a simple, shallow cross to Edelman, throw it 1.5 yards behind him. No, that's not Tom Brady. But when he's pressured and he's flustered, he's just like everyone else. Okay? He's an average QB at best under duress. And you saw that tonight. Look at the numbers. They don't lie. If you watch the game, you'll understand why. He was constantly under pressure in this game. And so the defense did their job for the Texans. They just simply did not have any help. And that's what we've come to expect from the Houston Texans. Let's get to your comments. Like I said, there's not much to really discuss with this football game. We thought it would be a blowout. It turned into a semi-blowout. I wouldn't say, like the final score doesn't indicate how close this game was for the majority of it. The Texans hung tough, but they just didn't have enough. Enrique Valencia says, "Sup, Lou? I never seen a quarterback do so much pre-snap and still look lost as Brock Osweiler." Hey, look, if you want to pile on Osweiler tonight, go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. He was horrible tonight, and I just don't know where the Texans go from here, honestly speaking. I want to see him get more opportunities, but I know Bill O'Brien is frustrated. I know the Texans organization may be a little frustrated. I don't know. They may still part ways. I've heard rumors that the whole Bill O'Brien leaving and possibly being fired whole scenario was just all speculation and talk, that there was no merit behind it. But when you win a playoff game, it's hard to get rid of your coach. And had they lost that game, I think that their owner, Bob McNair, would have been singing a different tune, but they won. So he was able to say, oh, no, we never said that. That's false. But bottom line is, he's frustrated, is Bill O'Brien. I know the organization is frustrated because they realize that most likely, and we can't confirm nor deny this, even though Brock has given us tons of evidence as to him being not good enough to get it done at this level as a starter, I still don't like the offense. I don't like the way they've called plays this year. I don't like some of the situations they've put him in. And I still think that he's just not comfortable because it was year one and he just needs more time. But that being said, he might just stink. And that's a real possibility. It's a legit one. And from all the things I've seen from him, that could probably very well may be the case, is that he probably just isn't very good. And you saw it tonight. Andrew Kim says, "I don't know how the Texans can get away with not getting a QB in the offseason. Whether it's a trade, free agency, draft, Texan fans must be sick hearing about O'Brien and will most likely stay." I don't know how you don't address the quarterback position. And I know it sucks, the money that you shelled out, but you got to get past that. Like I said, the first step on the road to recovery is admitting that you have a problem. You got a quarterback problem, man. Like, you can't run from this. You can't hide. There's a problem. So you got to fix it, or it's just going to get worse. So if I'm the Texans, like my man AK just eloquently put it, you got to find a way to fix it. I really don't give a damn how you do it, whether you go out and you trade or go out and sign a guy like Mike Glennon from the Buccaneers who's a free agent or you draft a guy. I don't really give a ham sandwich what you do. You just need to do something because this is not working. Ofo really says, no fair. Atlanta made it look too easy, LOL. What can I say? This year's Pats team is balanced. Defense good enough. I think the defense is good enough. I think this is a really, I think you put it well, that this is a really balanced Patriots football team. They don't overwhelm you. This is the part that I think is scary for the Patriots, that is that they don't overwhelm you on any side of the football anymore. Like, at least they used to have an elite offense with Brady or an elite defense. Belichick is coaching these boys up. They're just really solid in every facet of the game, which may be able to get you by, but I don't know if it's good enough. I still think the Steelers, if they can come in there healthy, can go into Foxborough and beat the New England Patriots. Wouldn't shock me. Josh Berman says, you called it, Texans blew it. And I told you that at halftime. That I didn't first of all, I didn't expect them to be in the game the way that they were at the half, but I said they're not gonna hang around. They're not good enough. And you saw it. Enrique Valencia says, so if Watson is there when the Texans pick, do they pull the trigger? Brock has to be cut this offseason. I don't think they can get out of his deal quite yet. I think they got one more year where they got to suck up some of that money that they gave him, and then they can start to make some moves after that. Then I think the exit ramps start in year 3 of this 4-year deal. So I think they got one more year of Brock. And if Watson is there, how can you pass up on an opportunity to draft a quarterback if you're the Texans? He's probably not going to be around, though. This is a quarterback-needy league. There's no way that Deshaun Watson is hanging around at, say, 26, where the Texans would select. It's not possible. Dominic Garland says, this game could have been so much closer, and it should have been. Opportunities galore for the Houston Texans in this game. It's not even funny how many opportunities they had to really make this a competitive football game, but they just don't have enough on the offensive side. Between the drops by C.J. Fedorowicz, he dropped a touchdown. He dropped an easy pass when they were backed up deep in their own territory. The Will Fuller drop for a touchdown. The Osweiler interceptions. The Patriots turnovers that they couldn't turn into points or only got a field goal and had to settle. This game should have been much closer than what it was, but again, we're dealing with the Texans, so take it for what it's worth. Met Dad says, Brock out there looking weak as ever. Yeah, he was. He was an atrocity tonight. He was atrocious, no doubt. Josh Berman says, did you hear the Texans just offered Dion Lewis a $72 million deal? Yeah, Dion carved those boys up tonight, man. Whether it was kickoff return for a touchdown, receiving for a touchdown, rushing for a touchdown, Dion Lewis seemed like he did it all tonight. Andrew Kim says, this was similar to the Ravens-Pats game, just couldn't capitalize and took many mistakes by the – and that's what I referenced that earlier, that this reminded me, it was eerily similar to the Ravens game on that Monday night where they were ready to stomp a mud hole in the Ravens, and then they just started turning the football over inexplicably and allowed the Ravens to come back in that game and make it a ball game. And like I said, there's only been a couple of games where the Patriots have turned it over. And they've only had 11, and they had 3 of them in that Ravens game, 3 tonight. They don't turn over many times, but when they do, they can go on a little bit of a run. So Met Dad says, Brock ain't even worth the paper his contract is on. Yeah, right now, I can't disagree with you. Rarely even says Will Fuller's drop was a difference maker, Lou. It was. It wasn't the difference in the game, but it would have really given the Texans a legit shot in this game. And they're not good enough offensively to squander opportunities like that. So that was a huge turn of events. You catch that, it's a 4-point game. And the Patriots, Brady throws an interception on the very next possession. Like, just imagine if he catches that and then Brady throws the interception and you've got the ball 1st and 10 from the Patriots 24 down 4. Like, the game is totally different then, but he didn't catch it. So, Bossaholic says, I'm going to be real. If the Patriots play like this against the Chiefs or the Steelers, they're going to lose. And I said that at the top of the show. That's why being the number 1 seed is so important. Andrew Kim says, whether Will Fuller improves in his second season or not, do the Texans regret taking him in the first round? Maybe speed to some people just hides other faults in their games. They're not going to. They knew what they were getting themselves into. They knew he was going to drop some of these football. I talked about this extensively. I'm a Notre Dame Fighting Irish fan, so I can attest to this. He's going to drop the football. I talked about that when I broke him down, when I broke the Texans draft down. I said, look, Will Fuller can run with the best of them, but he's going to drop the football. He's not a natural hands catcher. He's a guy that can make plays. And he's going to make more plays than he's going to drop the football. But the drops are going to be very glaring because they're going to be on big play opportunities. This guy's so fast, he's going to get behind the defense. So it's going to look even worse. It's one thing when you drop a pass underneath on a 4-yard shallow cross. You're like, catch the damn ball. It's a different whole set of circumstances when you drop it 44 yards down the field and you're 2 steps behind the closest DB and you drop the football. Everyone's going to remember that. So that's just the thing you have to deal with Will Fuller, is that he's going to drop the football. He's going to make a bunch of plays, and he's going to take a bunch of them off the scoreboard as well. Reese says, looks like San Fran going to have to wait a little longer. Pretty sure McDaniels is their guy. If he wants that job, it'll be there for him, no doubt about it. Rarely even also says, not all on Osweiler. He made a couple of beautiful throws that his receivers didn't come up with. Absolutely, but he made more poor decisions in this game that you can't make on the road against the Patriots. But he did make some plays, but you're going to forget about those plays because he made so many mistakes in this game. Captain Spartan 04 says, if my Steelers beat the Chiefs, I'm even more less scared of the Patriots now, and you should be less scared of them. Like I said, I said it at the beginning of this show, if they play like this against either the Chiefs or the Steelers, they're not going to win the game. Josh Berman says, I think that even though the Texans lost, they made their mark on the postseason. They hurt Brady. You could tell he was in pain, and that's no good for them. He'll be fine, but they banged him up really good tonight. I mean, Brady's going to be sore tomorrow. They really took a toll on Tom Brady. There's no doubt about that. RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 says, the Texas D is tough, but that offense is complete trash. I don't blame Osweiler. I blame the receivers. No, you got to blame Osweiler too, but that offense is not good. I don't worship the devil, man. Y'all stupid. Andrew Kim says, who would have thought the weapons on offense were a weakness in 2016 when they added pieces last offseason? Of course, that was Brock, Miller, and the receivers from the draft, but still surprising. I just don't like the way they orchestrate this offense. I don't love what George Gotsey does as a play caller. I don't love what Bill O'Brien does in setting this offense up. I don't think they do a good enough job of putting their playmakers in positions to make plays. They don't get the ball in their hands fast enough. You don't see bubble screens. You don't see slants and quick hitters from this text. Everything is vertical. Everything is long, and even the comebacks are long developing. It's just too much. For a guy that's struggling, you would think they would want to get some shorter, higher percentage completions early in the game to get him some confidence. You just don't see that with them. Rarely even says, Lou, one thing that I've always hated about the Patriots is despite their overwhelming success, they continue to portray themselves as the underdog. Why is that? Because they need a chip on their shoulder. It's hard when you're as good as they are for as long as they've been. It's hard to motivate yourself. Michael Jordan used to have to motivate himself. He used to make up stories. Guy, you talking about my mama? Oh, you talking about my sneakers? Oh, you talking about this? He used to make up stuff. Give himself imaginary bulletin board material. Because when you're that good for that long, you have to stay motivated somehow. And so the easiest way to do that in football, the proverbial chip on the shoulder. I'm an underdog. No one believes in us. That's the easiest way to do it. Blackbird Blitz says, as a Falcons fan, I have been biting my tongue all year, only taking a few shots here now and then, but Falcons are ready, bro. Everyone will hear me soon. Let's go. Hashtag Dirty Bird Nation. We will see who that opponent is tomorrow. Mazer _12 says, that Fuller drop was really bad for Houston, and honestly, the game was a lot closer than the final score says. And yep, we've talked about that already. This final score doesn't indicate just how close this game was and probably should have been, despite all of the mistakes made by the Patriots in this game. They still were able to win by 18 in the end. Captain Spartan 04 says, I can't hit the red subscribe button. Once I hit it, it turned gray, and now it says subscribe. What should I do? We'll leave it gray. If it's already gray, then that means you've done your job, what you were supposed to do, and I appreciate that. Blackbird Blitz says, I think we can end the MVP discussion. Matty Ice wins. I think we summed that up about a month ago when the season hit its end. I think we felt that way, or at least I did. I can't speak for anybody else. About 3 weeks ago, I declare Matt Ryan the MVP of the league. RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag 1000 says, is Tom Brady out of the MVP? Yeah, he's done. He's not out of the conversation. Remember, the postseason has nothing to do with the MVP trophy. That's a regular season award. They've already figured out who it is. It's just announcing it the day before the Super Bowl. And I think that's going to be Matt Ryan, like I said. Deron Johnson said, this game, Z's. And he put like 1,000 Z's. Sleep. I told you I needed about 4 or 5 glasses of wine for this one. Cowboys fans need to stop watching Real Housewives of ESPN First Take and actually watch a football game. Dallas can't beat Atlanta. Hey, they got to beat Green Bay first, and then we can have that discussion. Slump TV says, Brock Osweiler ruined this game for me, man. You and a bunch of others, probably. Bossaholic says, this Pats team hasn't played good teams in a while. You're right. It's been a while, but they've won. That's what matters most. RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 says, Osweiler just finesse the Texans out for the check. Yeah, hey, he did what he had to do, man. He got paid. Got to pull the wool over their eyes, and he did, and he's getting broken off. Bossaholic says, I hate it how Brady complains on every hit like Cam. And when you're pampered and you get used to getting calls, that's what happens. Reese says, Will Fuller has hands like a snake. That's Will Fuller for you, man. It is what it is. He give and he taketh away, and I've told you that on numerous occasions. But in any event, man, the Patriots take care of business. And it wasn't pretty. It doesn't need to be. It was gritty, and it was a W, and they're on to the AFC Championship. Well, they will await the winner of the Chiefs and the Steelers. Doesn't matter what happens in that game. Patriots will be in Foxborough next week awaiting the winner. And that should be fascinating football, whether it's the Chiefs or the Steelers. If it's the Chiefs can get after Brady like the Texans did, and they can make his life miserable. If it's the Steelers, they're going to have to play better on offense because the Steelers can score points and make the Patriots have to keep pace. So either way, it's going to be a great contest. We'll see who they have to play tomorrow. In any event, Mazer_12 says, Bill O'Brien says he will be back next year, and I've been hearing the same thing. And RG3 hashtag smoking at 3 hashtag ton, it says, Brady and Matt Ryan, not MVP. Why not? Tom and the Patriots 3-1 without him, and Ryan is number 1 offense and good defense. It's going to be Matt Ryan. MVP is going to be Matt Ryan. I've done a video. You know how I feel. I've spoken on that. So that's that. In any event, Patriots take care of business 34-16. Get the job done. Again, big night for Dion Lewis, and I'm happy for him. I mean, the guy tears his ACL yet again, comes back from the surgery, misses over half of the season, and is having a major impact on this Patriots team. 3 touchdowns in 3 different ways, receiving, rushing, and a kickoff return, as he helps the Patriots get the 34-16 win over the Texans. Texans have a bunch of offseason questions to answer, none bigger than the quarterback position and how are they going to address this nightmare that they have right now. The same question we were asking for the Texans last year, we're asking it again. And it's just amazing that this defense is so good that despite us asking the same question at the most important position, they're in the playoffs yet again, and they actually advanced to the second round this season, unlike last year where they were trounced at home. So we'll see what they do with that this offseason and the quarterback position. In any event, if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. Big games coming up tomorrow. Bart Scott can't wait. We'll see you tomorrow. Packers, the Cowboys. We'll start off the events at 4:40, followed by the game that was pushed back from 1 to 8:20 in the Chiefs hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. You've been watching the Louie T Network. Make sure you subscribe to Louie T Network on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at In The Lab Room, and like the Facebook page In The Lab Room as well. Remember, we're changing the game. 1 live feed at a time. Thank you to all of you out there watching, all of you who commented. Have a great night. As always, I'm your man Louie T, signing off. See you tomorrow.
Broncos won the Super Bowl when Peyton Manning retired. 49ers won 5 games and Tom Sula got fired. RG's in Cleveland and my Rams hit the West Coast. Be sleepless in Seattle cause that 12-man ain't beast mode. Oh yeah, I knew it was something I forgot to mention. Yeah, old Tom Brady about to get that suspension. Yeah, I know the Pats fans probably think that's whack. Yeah, but at the end of the day, your balls was flat. It's that time again. It's that time again. to go hard in the off season, cause we trying to win. We gon' go so hard, we don't take no days off. Hopefully one day it's